Hi guys, welcome back. So if you've been following along over on the Instagram, you will know that my lovely, wonderful boyfriend decided that we needed to go to the book barn today on our day off. And I was like, yeah. So we went and we bought like so many books. So we're going to haul them all. I have his, I have mine, and we're just gonna like jump into it. I also have a couple packages that were here by the time we got home. Welcome back. My name's Alyssa. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Otherwise, you know, let's get into this. Let's get into whatever the heck I have here. Possession is an Addiction, The 7 Visitations of Sydney Burgess. Ooh, all right, so this is from Red Hook through William Morrow, and this just sounded like a really good thriller. It's a new voice in horror that comes a terrifying tale of possession with a sinister twist. And since we're working on Naomi and I for the podcast, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, we're on like all the ways that one could listen to a podcast. So I'll leave a link down below for the show notes, for TBR Lowdown, for you to join the podcast and hear our thoughts on all kinds of things. But anyway, we are working on an episode where we talk about spooky season reads, and this, I had to ask when they sent me a list. I picked that off the list because, you know, the spooky season reads. I have one other one here. This is from Scribner, and it's on sale in November. And this is The Hidden Case of Ewan Forbes and the Unwritten History of the Trans Experience. Oh, okay. Ewan Forbes was born in 1912 to a wealthy family in Scotland, assigned female at birth. His true identity was nevertheless clear even in childhood, and so with the support of his mother, he was taken to European specialists and eventually treated with early preparations of synthetic testosterone, raised as a boy at home, but obliged to present himself as a girl in public until his official coming out to the Queen. Ewan grew up and became a doctor and got married. For decades, lived a quiet life as a pillar of the local community, but in 1965, Ewan's older brother died unexpectedly, and Ewan became the heir to the family's baronetcy. When his cousin John contested the inheritance, he was forced to defend his male status in Scotland's Supreme Civil Court, where he prevailed. Oh shit, this is, oh, we reading this. Oh yes, okay. So that's from Scribner. I don't know when this is out. I will look it up, that one, but this one, according to the spine, is out on November 2nd, and that I'm super excited about. I do have one other package, which is from an indie publisher who asked me to hold the unboxing, so you guys are gonna have to wait for that, so you'll see that later. The reason I went to the library is because I had a couple holds I wanted to pick up. So I wanted to pick up The Elegance of the Hedgehog, which is one of the books that Naomi recommended on one of our recent lives for me to read. It is something she read in Women in Translation Month that is translated from French, and she said it was really, really good. I don't really know anything about it other than the fact that it is a woman author and it was translated into English from French. So I have this. And then I also picked up my hold for Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead, which has been recommended by Naomi, by Russell from, my brain is breaking, Russell from Ink and Paper Blog. It is Ink and Paper Blog, you dumb. I can't remember his name. Anyway, but Russell recommended this, and also from Eric Carl Anderson. These are all people I respect, and they absolutely loved this book, and so I have to read it. Anyway, and then we have the 32 books that we bought because I don't know why. We were sad, depressed, tired nurses. Anyway, the books we bought at the library, book barn. These are a mix of mine and Jesus's, so anything that seems like weird for my brand is probably Jesus's. Anyway, so he picked up this Harvard Classics number 36. I love a good old book. And this is Machiavelli, Moore, and Martin Luther, and not King, just Martin Luther. So this is The Prince, Utopia, and 95 Theses. And it's a cool old book. I think he just wanted it for the prince, but yeah. We do support the old books in this house. I'm going to try to make 2 piles, one for me, one for him. I picked up a copy of Snow Falling on Cedars, which is something I am fairly certain we were supposed to read in high school, and I don't think I actually did, and I feel like I should read it now. I feel like I probably just didn't care then. Yeah, so sorry, I'm just reading the inside flap. So I got this. Remember, all things from the library book barn are $1. $1. Which is why we go a little crazy every time we go, and we do this because it's $1, folks. It's $1. I picked up this Isabel Allende Along Petal of the Sea because Jesus really likes this author, so I actually picked this one up for him. We probably both will read it. This is an epic novel spanning decades and crossing continents, following two young people as they flee the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War in search of a place to call home. So we'll probably both read this. So whose pile do I put this in? Put it in Jesus's pile first. I got Any Human Heart by William Boyd because it just sounded like a really good historical fiction. This is a novel that's told in a series of intimate journals, the story of Longmount Stewart, writer, lover, art dealer, spy, as he makes his often precarious way through the 20th century. And that's definitely in my pile of books. I need more water. Sorry, we also went out to lunch and I had like 2 gin drinks. I haven't been drinking, so like, they made your girl sleepy. I picked up this nice old copy of Britannica Great Books, number 50, and this is all Karl Marx. So this is the Communist Manifesto, which I picked up mainly to piss off my parents, but also because of everything that's going on in the bookstagram world and a lot of the conversations that are being had. I felt like it was time that I actually read this so that I could have intelligent discourse with human beings. So that's in my pile. Oh, I got a bunch of Jim Butcher books from the Dresden Files because somewhere in here I have like the first book, and I know that Naomi and I want to get into this series, so I picked up I guess it's 2 they had and a third is like some short stories from Jim Butcher. So I got Turncoat and Side Jobs. I don't know where these fall in the series, but I figured it can't hurt to grab them for $1, right? They got this Urban Enemies, which is stories from the villains of your favorite urban fantasy series. And it's Jim Butcher, Kevin Hearn, Kelly Armstrong, Shauna McGuire, John Mayberry, and others. So I thought this was kind of cool. Maybe I could find some other like urban, because I do like urban fantasy quite a bit. Maybe I can find some other characters and stories, series is the words I'm going for, series I can follow. I picked up this thing called Craven Manor by Darcy Coates because it just sounded, I'm in a spooky mood, can you tell? And it says, some secrets are better left forgotten. Daniel is desperate for a fresh start, so when a mysterious figure slides a note under his door offering the position of groundskeeper at an ancient estate, he leaves the chance. Even though it seems too good to be true, alarm bells start ringing when he arrives at Craven Manor. The abandoned mansion front door hangs open and leaves and cobwebs coat the marble floor. It's clear no one has lived here in a long time, but he has nowhere else to go. So that sounded like a fun, spooky read. I picked up this Consilience, The Unity of Knowledge by Edward O. Wilson because I rarely ever see this author. This is a nonfiction book, and this is, he wrote this one book that I really, really like. I read that I really enjoyed years ago, and I think is it in here? It's called On Human Nature, and he's a biologist that writes various kinds of non-fictional texts, like texts that are like sociobiological. Anyway, so I find his points of view interesting, so that I don't always agree, but it's a very interesting way to both look at the world. I find him interesting, so it was kind of like cool to just randomly find this because I never see this guy anywhere. So it says, an enormous intellectual adventure in this groundbreaking new book, the American biologist Edward O. Wilson, considered to be one of the world's greatest living scientists, argues for the fundamental unity of all knowledge and the need to search for consilience, the proof that everything in the world is organized in terms of a small number of fundamental natural laws that comprise the principles underlying every branch of learning. I figured it'd be a really interesting, if not informative, read, and he's just a really interesting guy. Like, On Human Being is a really, really, really interesting book, and I really highly recommend reading it. I kind of want to read The Diversity of Life. Anyway, so his books are really interesting, and especially when he talks about like humanity and all kinds of stuff. So that was a cool find in my humble opinion. Anyway, so that's a bag down. But Jesus picked up Art and History of Egypt because he's obsessed with Egypt. Oh, it's pretty. It's actually a really pretty book. Oh, he's gonna love that. He picked up 1776 by David McCullough. He got the Handbook of Fighter Aircraft featuring photographs from the Imperial War Museum. I mean, not on brand, but I mean, it's like every little boy's dream. I picked up Ground Zero, 25 stories from young reporters who were there. And I don't know if I'm ready to read this, but one day I will. Maybe I'll try a story and see if I can stomach it. 9/11 is it's a weird, hard spot for a lot of people of a certain age, especially if they're from New York. I know apparently a lot of young people don't even know what it is anymore, but anyway, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole because it'll make me angry. Anyway, there's this book that Jesus picked up, Black Diamonds, The Rise and Fall of an English Dynasty. I don't even know what this is, but this is impressive looking. It's huge. What is this about? The 6th Earl Fitzwilliam was one of Britain's richest aristocrats. During his lifetime, his wealth increased 1,000 times over. When he died, his family spent £45,000 equipping his servants in mourning livery for his funeral. Black Diamond tells the story of the unraveling of one of Britain's wealthiest dynasties. Family feuds, forbidden love, class war, and tragic and violent death played their part. But coal, the mines, and the miners, one of the most emotive subjects of 20th century Britain, lies at the heart of the dynasty's demise. Oh, actually sounds really interesting. I might read that. So those are all Jesus books. I picked up The Stranger by Albert Camus because I've never read it, and Camus keeps coming up in different things that I read, and it's in beautiful condition, so I figured I would read it. And so this is the story of an ordinary man who unwittingly gets drawn into a senseless murder on a sun-drenched Algerian beach, and Camus explores what he termed the nakedness of man faced with the absurd. Should be an interesting read. Also, I kind of love that cover. I picked up Saint X by Alexis Shaitkin. I don't know how to say her name. Mostly because it's a thriller that I know that some people have really enjoyed, and this is like an arc that I guess somebody gave to the library, so I figured I'd read it. Like, what the hey, for $1? Let's do it. This is a gripping psychological drama straight from the headlines about a young girl whose older sister vanishes on a luxury Caribbean vacation, and years later a chance encounter with one of the suspects, which spirals into obsession. So that could be really good. 2 more bags. The ladies that work in the book barn are also really amazing. We love them a lot. I picked up these 2 thrillers, City of Masks and Land of Echoes. They're by Daniel Hecht, I guess you say his name, Hecht. And this follows, okay, so it says Cree Black. They're all this Cree Black parapsychologist with a haunted past. That's the like detective-y guy that is in these thrillers. Oh, sorry, it's a she. Cree Black didn't believe in ghosts until she encountered her dead husband. Now she not only sees ghosts, she feels, hears, and even talks to them, seeking answers to life's mysteries as well as to riddles from her past. She's putting her newfound abilities to use. Based out of Seattle, Cree and her partner are detectives of the spirit, scientific ghostbusters who study ghosts as they try to exorcise them from people's lives. But the ghosts in their latest client's life has Cree fearing for her own. So these are gonna sort of follow that same vein. So they had both of these and they sounded interesting. So I figured I'd give them a shot. For $1, I'll give them a shot. I do actually read these books. Eventually I do read all of these books. And we're working on the bookshelves so I can get all my books out of Book Purgatory, and I can actually do a clear out too. So Jesus got 2 editions from that Britannica Great Books of Shakespeare. For some reason, I don't know, I have every Shakespeare like twice over, but I really like them. They're really well like printed. They're beautifully printed. I love an old book. They just smell so divine. He also got, these are hymns. These are Gibbon. This is book 1 and book 2 of Gibbon, and this is a historian that talks about ancient Rome, I believe. That's his jam. He's all about history, so he found these, and he's super excited for them. Again, they smell divine. Oh, this is this, like, Lorca. This is the Spanish poet or something like that. A collection of critical essays and I believe he was talking about this before we got to the book barn, so he bought it because we were literally just talking about it. I picked up The Portable Dorothy Parker because I know the name. I've never read anything by Dorothy Parker. And she's one of the most quotable 20th century authors. Dorothy Parker has attained a wide-ranging and enthusiastic following. So this is a few of her works in one spot that I guess I get to read all together. We're moving along. He's just picked up this cool copy of Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde, which we actually don't own. So we do like the old books, so that's cool. I picked up the book Starfish because I got something like merch or something for this book in an unplugged book box, which by the way, I do have a rep code for them. It's Nurse 5 if you would like to try them out. I love them. I will link my playlist to somewhere so you can see all the amazing boxes I've gotten. I would like to say over the years because I'm almost at 2 years, I think, of getting their box. But anyway, I have no idea what this is. I just know that I got merch from them and this book is supposed to be really, really good. And I randomly saw it in the book barn and I had to get it. I don't know what all these background noises are, so I'm sorry for all the squeaking. It sounds like it's from outside or it's my dog crying. I don't know. I have to go downstairs and take care of him. And then we are on our last bag, so I will go take care of him. I have Kevin Kwan's Sex and Vanity in like what is actually a really decent copy in hardback because I saw this everywhere on Bookstagram. I've never read Crazy Rich Asians. This is outside of that world, I guess, but I've never read Kevin Kwan and I kind of want to try him out. Ooh, all my books are falling. Oh, I picked up this for Jesus, he doesn't know it. This is Stephen Fry's The Hippopotamus, and we both really like Stephen Fry. He writes a lot of books about like mythology and stuff. This is like his own fiction work and I never really see any of it here in the States, so I bought this for him. He doesn't know that. And if you don't know who Stephen Fry is, I highly suggest you educate yourself because Stephen Fry is brilliant. He's absolutely amazing. Love him. Oh, Citizen Soldiers by Stephen Ambrose. The U.S. Army from the Normandy beaches to the Bulge to the surrender of Germany. Can you sense a theme in Jesus' reading? What else do we have? First World War, A Complete History. More of that. Stalingrad. I thought he had a book on Stalingrad. This is a different book on Stalingrad. Anyway, Stalingrad. And then the last book that I've just kind of been holding on to over here is this book called The Haunted Bookshop by Christopher Morley. That's like the first chapter. Isn't that pretty? Why I bought this? Because right on the front, this is why I love used books, because sometimes you find things in them, sometimes people will write in them. Right in the front it says, Regina's book. Do not dare open it. It is haunted. And I don't know who Regina is, but girl, I love you. I love you so, so much. So, with spooky season coming, Regina, I'm going to open your book and I'm going to read it. And I hope that I survive the ghosts. The sun's coming in on all sides. So that is everything that we got at the library book barn. I don't know which one of us got more books. I think it's fairly even at this point. I have finally figured out how to do my bookshelves because IKEA is letting me down because they have no stock. So I have to do it the way I don't want to do it, the way I have been trying to avoid this whole time. But I'm going to have to do it this way because life. Anyway, I cannot live with all these books everywhere. We're going to have books everywhere right now. And they just keep coming in. Like you saw, I get stuff from publishers like every few days. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it this far, leave down below haunted and I will hop on and say hi. Please remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. If you like my shirt, it's from Hello Lovely Box. I also rep for them. My rep code is nurse15, so you can get 15% off. I'll leave both of my rep codes for the companies I rep for down below with links in case you want to check anything out. Otherwise, there is also a Ko-fi link down below if you want to support the channel in any other way. You know, you can feel free to leave a donation to help me buy new camera equipment. You don't have to. It's every way that you interact with this video and support the channel, even if it's just a, hey, I enjoy your videos. It brings me joy and makes me want to keep making videos. I've been a little out of it lately because I've just been not mentally there, and I think you could probably understand but I'm trying to get back into a creative spirit, and a lot of my energy has been getting dumped into the podcast right now, and I would like to get back to making videos. I need to summarize The Priest for you. I need to do a few other things. I've got a centaur romance I need to review for you guys, because like centaurs, romance, sex, how does it work? We're going to talk about it. Anyway, so I have lots of filming that has to happen over the next coming weeks, so please like, subscribe, and you won't miss anything. That's it. I'm rambling. I'm very thirsty. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video, whatever it may be, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want.
So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go come closer next to me, trying to find another way.